Well, thank you very much, Rob. Merci beaucoup. It's a great pleasure to be here. C'est un grand plaisir d'être avec vous cet après-midi. Now, I'm not sure what the rules are in New Brunswick for donations to political parties, but I'd like you to find out before you leave, and let's all chip in so that this campaign team can buy a second air conditioner. I think that is... The volunteers have a lot of work to do in advance of the election being called. We want to make sure that they're well rested and comfortable before they go out and knock on doors. So let's all make that commitment today. Rob's right. Last year, after winning the leadership on May 27th, I said to the team, we got to get out to Atlantic Canada. We have so much in common, the Conservative Party, with not only our provincial counterparts and the PC parties across the region, but the people of Atlantic Canada. And we went 0 for 32. In the last election. And there's obviously a reason behind that. We needed to find out why. We needed to start rebuilding the bridges to reconnect with the people in this province. So that's what I did. I came out here, started off Canada Day on PEI, went all throughout New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, listening to the concerns of the people in this region. And even then, I started hearing some rumblings about the fact that the Liberal MPs from this area weren't doing what they promised they would do. I remember during the campaign, I remember seeing stories about how Liberal candidates were promising to support important projects like Energy East. I remember listening to debates in the region, reading reports of them about how they were going to try to do something for middle-class Canadians. That all turned out to be completely false. Now that I'm back, I'm hearing that even louder. It's more and more clear to me that while the Liberals may have gone 32 for 32 in Atlantic Canada in the last election, the people of Atlantic Canada have gone 0 for 32 under the Liberal representation that they have. But there's a big shift happening across Canada, a big shift. We see it in every level of politics in this country. What the Liberals were offering in many different regions, and of course federally, more and more Canadians are realizing that it hurts the very people that they claim to help. And we see it in Saskatchewan with Premier Scott Moe, the new Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, and soon to be the next Premier of New Brunswick, Blaine Higgs, adding his voice to the strong Conservative movement going across the country. Alberta will be next along the way, and we're going to have a strong coalition of provincial partners preparing the way for a new federal Conservative government to bring back common sense and fiscal responsibility. Now, I've got to know Blaine pretty good over the last little bit. One of my first visits here was during the leadership race, and it was around the same time as the provincial AGM here, and of course there's a leadership race going on in this province too. I got to meet Blaine and chat with him, and after he won on my visits out here, he was always very gracious, very welcoming. He's always made time to make sure that we could connect when I was out here. And he would keep me up to date about what was going on and how issues here would maybe intersect with federal policies. And I was struck right away by Blaine's integrity. By the way, he's just a straight talker. He just tells you like it is. And that's important in any level of politics. And Blaine has got a great message for the people of this province. A great message about ensuring that this province has lots of opportunity for future generations of New Brunswickers. And there's a lot that we can do together. On peut travailler ensemble sur beaucoup des enjeux pour assurer que les prochaines générations de les gens de cette province vont avoir des opportunités. And when people talk to me about issues in New Brunswick, it's clear that it's going to take that strong federal partnership working with a provincial government that actually wants to make sure that the next generation of Canadians have a better opportunity. And when I look at some of the decisions, I'm going to be excited to have an ally. When there was a vote in the House of Commons, not only did those 10 Liberal MPs vote against Energy East, but the Premier of this province, Premier Gallant, was completely silent. He failed to even mention it, failed to stand up and demand at accounting for why his federal counterparts ignored the concerns of the people of this province. And I know that I will work very hard, and I'll have a willing partner and a partner that will be excited about the prospect, about reviving Energy East, so we can get Western Canadian energy into Eastern Canadian markets, displacing foreign oil so that Canada can be self-sufficient when it comes to our energy needs. We've got a Prime Minister in Ottawa and a Premier here that is embarrassed of our natural resources, that doesn't want to develop it, that federally, I don't know if the Premier does this, but federally, we have a Prime Minister that goes around the world apologizing for our energy sector and promising to phase it out. Canadians deserve a Prime Minister that's proud of our energy sector, and New Brunswickers deserve a Premier that is proud of it, that will stand up for it and will champion it, not just around Canada, but around the world. Yes. And I'm so looking forward to having another ally when it comes to the fight against the carbon tax. You know, it's encouraging, though. It's a scary thought to think about what this new tax will do to the economy and to jobs and to the ability for hardworking Canadians to make ends meet. There's a big development this week. The Liberals have acknowledged, finally, that their carbon tax will kill jobs, will drive investment out of the country. So they cut a special deal with big businesses and large emitters. Now, that's all well and good, but Conservatives will fight for a deal for all Canadians, for hard-working Canadians, for small businesses, medium businesses, everyone. The only thing better than a watered-down carbon tax is no carbon tax at all, and the first order of business for us will be to repeal that carbon tax. Now, I'm very excited to be here and share the room with someone who's going to help that fight, who's going to help push back against this terrible idea and bring forward real change for Canadians and New Brunswickers to lower their cost of living, to lower taxes, and bring back responsible government. Now, he just walked in the door, so I'm going to put him on the spot right away. I'm so honored to be here and introduce the next Premier of New Brunswick, Clay Diggs. Thanks.
Welcome.
You bet. Thanks for being here. See, come on in.